We have battled collectively con men, fraudsters, corporations that hurt people without the means to fight back. We have fought consistently on behalf of the powerless against the powerful. We have witnessed sorrow and heartbreak. We have listened to our clients as they described death, injury, and devastating loss. But none of that prepared me for 2 Tuesdays ago in Laredo, Texas. Sitting in a prison, separated by glass from mothers, telling me the story after story of how their children had been ripped from their sides because of our president, Donald Trump.
Kick his ass!
Because Donald Trump wanted to use children as pawns. Because he wanted to send a message no matter how many families it destroyed. The lawyer in me immediately started thinking about how to file cases. But the father in me slipped each mother a piece of paper through that small slot under the glass and asked her to write a letter to her stolen child. I want to quote to you the words from Levis Osorio Andino, the words that she wrote to her son, Samir. I know you are suffering because you love me. Very soon we will be singing the song we sing, and we will be praying together to God, she wrote. I wish you could feel how it feels in my heart, she told Samir. I feel someone took a piece from my heart. The next day I flew to Phoenix, where I had learned that Levis's son Samir was being held. The day after that, I met him. When I handed this 6-year-old the letter from his mother with the drawing she had made, he brushed me off, saying he didn't believe she loved him anymore because she had abandoned him. He didn't believe that we knew his mother. He didn't trust the letter. I couldn't blame him for not trusting me. After all, I am an American. And one of the first Americans Samir had encountered on that dark night had promised to take him for a bath, and then instead took him, kidnapped him from his mother. Meeting Levis and Samir made me think of my own ancestors, of my great-grandfather Agostino Avenatti, who immigrated from Italy around the turn of the century, seeking the simple, amazing thing that America has given so many, a better life. At the time, many Italian immigrants had to hear themselves called Watts and Dagos, as they were told to go back from wherever they came. Then, like so many outsiders before us, our family became American, and proudly so. I grew up in the Midwest, where we were raised to respect everyone, regardless of where they came from. Our elders, our families, our neighbors, people we ran into in everyday life, where we valued being decent and fair to people simply because that's the right thing to do. Today, the United States of America is betraying that fundamental value. The value that called to your family, that called to my great-grandfather Agostino across the ocean, that called to the families I represent to make their own voyages. Donald Trump is hoping that people like us don't see the connection between our own ancestors and the immigrants arriving today. Donald Trump is hoping people like us see this as us against them. And so I want to say as plainly as I can here tonight, these are my people too. These are our people too. It is particularly important for those of us who are white, especially white men, to say this. This cruel and unusual president would not be in power and would not be kidnapping children had he not conned millions of people who look like me into believing that our survival somehow depended on the trampling of the dignity of women, people of color, the disabled, African Americans, Muslims, immigrants, the less fortunate, and so many others. And so I want to say a word tonight to white men. Too many of us have forgotten that old phrase, "There but for the grace of God go I." Too many of us have a hard time putting ourselves in the shoes of these separated families, these brown families. Too many of us fail to ask, if it were me, how would I hope to be treated? If it was my wife or child, what would I want for them? Too many of us have been eerily silent, standing on the sidelines and allowing injustice to be done because they are not us. The vulnerable populations that this president is targeting are presently battling a fight for their very existence. But it cannot be their fight alone. It is imperative for those in whose name this is being done to stand and say, enough. The more safe and secure you feel in Trump's America, the more urgent it is for you to rise and say, these are my people too. These are my people too. If we can stand up and say that loudly, if all of us, white men and others, who have forgotten that but there for the grace of God go I, if we can remember that truth, we can reunite these families. We can defeat President Trump's unusual cruelty. And we can, and we will, make America decent again. We will make America gracious again. We will make America welcoming again. We will make America fair again. We will make America respected again. And above all else, we will make America, America again. Thank you.
Thank you.